Do you know the best way to store your fresh fruits and vegetables? Because each day, every American wastes about 1 pound of fresh food. So here's 4 things to think about: temperature, humidity, oxygen, and cleaning to make sure your fresh food stays fresh. Let's begin by talking about controlling temperature, because this is a really effective way of making your fruits and veggies last longer. Now, when it comes to this fresh produce, some is meant to be stored in the fridge and others are really better at higher temperatures. So I know when it comes to food, sort of our instinct is to throw things in the fridge or freezer, but that's not how you should be storing your fresh produce. So to store your produce at the right temperature, you have to think back to what type of climate was the plant originally grown in. That means any fresh fruits and vegetables native to more temperate climates, the ones that are sort of grown at cooler temperatures, they tend to do really well in the fridge. And that's because they are used to these cooler temperatures. So our fridges are usually set at 35 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. If you use Celsius, that's 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. And at these lower temperatures, something like apples, these will keep for months in the refrigerator. But other fresh fruits and vegetables that also do well in the fridge are things like carrots and broccoli. We have apricots, asparagus, grapes, kiwis, and I could go on and on. I'll put a longer, more thorough list in the description, but there's a long list of fresh fruits and veggies that really do belong in the refrigerator, and they will keep longer if you keep them in the refrigerator. Now for a whole nother bunch of fruits and veggies, the fridge is at temperatures way too cold. And what happens here is when these fruits and veggies that were grown at warmer temperatures and you put them in the fridge, they actually get injured by that low temperature. It's called chill injury or chilling injury. And you can see this happening if you've ever put bananas in the fridge. You'll notice that the whole yellow skin turns black, just all of it. Or you might have seen avocados darken. Citrus fruits get sort of this discolored or spotted skin. And this is chilling injury. Those plants aren't meant to be stored in the refrigerator. It makes their cells malfunction and the enzymes sort of run out of control. And so what you see here is you get a real low quality experience when you try to eat this produce. So if fruits and vegetables are native to these warmer climates, maybe they're grown in a tropical or subtropical climate, these will do much better if they're just stored in your kitchen sitting out on the counter. So they'll do better if they're stored at room temperature, a slightly warmer temperature than in the refrigerator. And this list also includes a lot of fruits and veggies. So we have our avocados, bananas, many different types of squash, melons, so like cantaloupe, honeydew, bell peppers, hot peppers, and basically any type of citrus fruits. These should all be just sitting out on your counter. They shouldn't be in the refrigerator because these fruits and veggies get injured when stored at these low temperatures. Again, I'll post a more thorough list in the description of each fruit and vegetable that should be stored just at room temperature. Let's move on to another factor to consider, which is humidity. So humidity just means how much water is in the air surrounding you. And most fruits and veggies, they want to be stored under high humid conditions because you don't want them to dry out. When your fruits and veggies dry out, they usually have a very bad texture change. And so what you'll see if you have a newer refrigerator is actually the drawers to store produce in. They are either humidity controlled or have a higher humidity than the rest of the fridge. And this is really great because it prevents anything from drying out. All right, so let's move on to oxygen, which is another way you can control how quickly your fresh produce spoils. And what we usually forget is that fresh fruits and veggies, they're living organisms and they respirate. So what this means, what I mean by they respirate, is they use oxygen from the surrounding atmosphere, break down sugars to produce carbon dioxide and water. So by limiting how much oxygen, you can limit how much this fresh produce is respirating. So we can sort of slow down the metabolism or the breakdown of our fruits and veggies by putting them in a storage container that's closed or storing them in a bag. So a closed system that would limit how much oxygen they have access to. There's a second reason you want to limit the amount of oxygen, and it's in what's produced by respiration. So like I said, respiration produces both carbon dioxide and water. And now water is what's bad news. And that's because microorganisms need water to live. And so as these fruits and vegetables are respirating, they tend to make enough water that it can actually condensate where the fruits and vegetables are being stored, which means as more water accumulates, the microorganisms are happier and can spoil your food faster and faster. So one key thing you can do is throw in a fresh paper towel or something absorbent that can sort of soak up any water that's produced from the fruits and vegetables respirating. The last thing you need to remember while storing produce is to clean wherever you store it, whether it's in those drawers in the refrigerator or on the countertop. Because these fruits and vegetables, these plants, they're grown in a field, they're covered in dirt, and that's going to bring in a lot of microorganisms. So if you never take some paper towel or soap or maybe a sanitizing wipe to wherever you store these fruits and veggies, the microorganisms are just piling up and piling up, which means your food is probably getting spoiled faster than it should be. So every once in a while, just take those drawers out or take some soap and water to wherever you store your produce. So if you think about those 4 factors, the temperature, the humidity level, oxygen level, and how often you clean, you might see your fresh produce lasting a lot longer, which would really help because we have such a big food waste issue, especially in the United States. So let me know if these tricks work for you, and I'll talk to you next time.